In a world obsessed with instant gratification and social media fame, there's a powerful story that reminds us of the true essence of success. This is the tale of John, a man who mastered the art of quiet success. John grew up in a small town where everyone knew each other's business. From a young age, he was different. While his peers sought attention and validation, John preferred to work silently, honing his skills in the background. As a teenager, John discovered his passion for coding. While others bragged about their weekend plans, John spent countless hours in his room, learning and creating. His parents worried about his lack of social life, but John knew he was building something greater than fleeting popularity. Years passed, and John's skills grew exponentially. He landed a job at a small tech startup, where he worked tirelessly, often staying late into the night. His colleagues would boast about their accomplishments in meetings, but John remained quiet, letting his work speak for itself. One day, the company faced a major crisis. Their main product was failing, and they were on the brink of bankruptcy. In a tense meeting, as everyone argued and pointed fingers, John quietly raised his hand. He had been working on a side project that could potentially save the company. The room fell silent as John demonstrated his creation. It was revolutionary, solving problems the industry had struggled with for years. His colleagues were stunned. How had he done this without anyone noticing? The company's fortunes turned around overnight. John's invention became a massive success, catapulting the startup into the big leagues. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know about the quiet genius behind the scenes. Reporters clamored for interviews, investors sought meetings, and job offers poured in. But John remained true to his nature. He politely declined most interviews, preferring to let the product speak for itself. He stayed with the company that had given him a start, continuing to innovate behind the scenes. As the years went by, John's influence in the tech world grew, but not in the way most would expect. He never became a household name or graced magazine covers. Instead, he mentored young programmers, anonymously funded educational initiatives, and continued to solve complex problems that others deemed impossible. John's story teaches us a valuable lesson about the power of quiet success. In a world that often equates loudness with achievement, John proved that true impact doesn't need a spotlight. His success wasn't measured in followers or likes, but in the lives he changed and the innovations he brought to the world. This tale reminds us that real success isn't about showing off or seeking validation from others. It's about staying true to your passion, working hard in silence, and letting your achievements speak for themselves. John's journey shows us that the most profound impact often comes from those who are seeking recognition. So, the next time you feel the urge to broadcast your every accomplishment, remember John. Remember that true greatness doesn't need to announce itself. It's felt in the ripples of change you create, in the lives you touch, and in the legacy you leave behind. The art of quiet success is about finding fulfillment in the work itself, not in the applause that follows. It's about the satisfaction of solving problems, the joy of creation, and the peace that comes from knowing you've done your best, regardless of who's watching. John's story challenges us to reconsider our definition of success. In a world of influencers and self-promoters, he reminds us that there's immense power in humility and dedication. His journey proves that you don't need to be the loudest voice in the room to make the biggest impact. As we reflect on John's tale, let's ask ourselves, what drives us? Are we working for the applause, or are we driven by a deeper purpose? Are we chasing fleeting fame, or are we building something that will outlast us? The art of quiet success isn't easy. It requires patience, perseverance, and a strong sense of self. It means being okay with not always getting credit, with working in the shadows while others bask in the limelight. But as John's story shows, the rewards of this path are immeasurable. Imagine a world where more people embraced this philosophy. A world where innovation and progress weren't hindered by ego or the need for constant validation. A world where great minds focused on solving problems rather than gaining followers. This is the world John's story invites us to create. So, as you go about your day, remember the power of quiet success. Remember that every small act of dedication, every moment spent honing your craft in silence, is building towards something greater. You may not see the results immediately, but like John, your impact will be felt far and wide. Don't be discouraged if your efforts go unnoticed at first. The most significant changes often start in silence, away from the public eye. Trust in your journey, believe in your work, and know that true success doesn't need to be shouted from the rooftops. Let John's story be a beacon of inspiration. In a world that often feels like a constant competition for attention, choose the path of quiet success. Focus on your growth, on making a real difference, and on leaving a lasting legacy. Remember, it's not about being seen. It's about being felt. It's not about recognition. It's about impact. It's not about showing off. It's about showing up, day after day, committed to your purpose. As we conclude this tale of quiet triumph, let it serve as a reminder that success comes in many forms. The loudest voice isn't always the most impactful, and the most visible path isn't always the most rewarding. Embrace the art of quiet success and watch as your true potential unfolds, touching lives and changing the world in ways you never imagined. So, go forth with confidence, work with passion, and let your actions speak louder than words. For in the end, it's not about who knows your name, but about the difference you make. That, dear friends, is the true measure of success.